This week, something subtle is happening across the global rankings. Not because of a single breakout title, and not because of a major release dominating attention, but because several familiar names are quietly changing position at the same time. At first glance, the chart appears calm, and nothing seems urgent. The top ranks remain largely unchanged, with no sudden jumps and no dramatic drops. But when you look a little closer, patterns begin to form. Some titles are holding their position without gaining additional momentum, suggesting that their audience interest has stabilized. Others are slowly rising, not fast enough to attract headlines, but consistently enough to matter week after week. And a few titles are beginning to slip, not sharply, and not in a way that causes immediate concern, but just enough to suggest that viewing habits are starting to shift. This is the kind of moment that rankings often fail to highlight at first, because rankings do not simply respond to popularity. They respond to direction, and direction takes time to become visible. When multiple titles begin moving together, even by small margins, it often means the audience is adjusting how it chooses what to watch next, not abandoning familiar content, but becoming more selective and more deliberate, spending a little more time on certain titles and slightly less on others, without making dramatic changes. This kind of shift rarely comes from a single event or from one viral release. Instead, it builds quietly, week by week, through small decisions made by millions of viewers, and over time, those small decisions begin to reshape the chart. Some titles remain near the top, but their growth slows, and their position becomes less secure. Others do not break into the top ranks immediately, yet they begin to occupy more stable positions, just below the surface, waiting for the next opportunity. This creates a form of balance, where the chart appears stable but is not static, because what happens next depends on whether this balance holds or gradually breaks. If these patterns continue, we are likely to see steady changes, rather than sudden reversals. Titles that adapt to evolving audience expectations will slowly gain ground and build longer-lasting attention. Those that rely on momentum alone may begin to fade as interest shifts elsewhere. This is why weeks like this matter, even when they seem uneventful, not because they produce clear winners, but because they reveal where attention is quietly moving. It is often during calmer periods that the next major shift begins to take shape. And by the time the chart responds visibly, the change has already been underway. For several updates, for now, the rankings remain steady, but beneath the surface, direction is starting to form. And in the coming updates, we will see whether these subtle movements turn into something more decisive. This is what rankings look like when audience behavior changes before the chart fully responds, and moments like this often matter more than a single big debut, because what happens next will be defined not by sudden attention, but by sustained choice over time.